Greetings, everybody. This is Christopher Messina coming at you from the Messy Time Studios, recording as ever on the beaches of the last free state in America, Florida. Today, I'm actually going to read something that was published on Pure Jewish Anger, the literary consequences of 2,000 years of genocide by Daniel Clarke-Serret, who published this sometime in late May. I'm just going to read it. I liked it a lot, and I think sometimes it's worth exercising the vocal cords. The world is taking the fucking piss. 2,000 years of constant persecution, expulsions, blood libels, pogroms, forced expulsions, and real genocide. Egyptians, Babylonians, Romans, Christians, Muslims, atheist academics. There isn't a single group for whom anti-Jewish hate isn't acceptable. Holocaust. The world was sympathetic. Were they fuck? Not a single country took us in. Not a single country wanted us. Languishing in refugee camps to rot, while Nazis were taken in by the West, their crimes forgotten. The good old US of A, no more dirty Jews for us. Britannia, no alien immigration wanted, old chap. As for those lovely Arabs, they sided with the Nazis, and they wanted to finish the genocide. The Arabs of the Middle East are more than happy to immigrate to Britain, to the US, and to France. After all, there aren't enough failed Muslim countries in the world. But they couldn't share a tiny strip of land with my homeless people. It was extermination or nothing. They destroyed our ancient communities in Yemen. They threw us out of Egypt. They ended thousands of years of Jewish history in our Iraqi heartland. There's barely a Jew left in the Arab world. We are nearly extinct in our indigenous region. Only Israel remains, and they want us gone. We've tried to appease them. We've tried to appease them for 100 bloody years. Transjordanian Palestine given free of charge. Partition plan after partition plan rejection. Peel Commission? No. UN 47? No. We even tried to hand the West Bank back after 67, but the response was the same. No, no, no. 3 times the hateful bell of 9 rang from Khartoum. Khartoum, yes, you heard that right, the capital of Sudan, the capital of murder, genocide, and ethnic cleansing in 2024. But do the ICC care? The ICJ? The disgusting United Nations? The sainted South Africans? Of course not. They couldn't care less about any war unless it is one launched on the Jews. Yet I digress. In the 1990s and 2000s, we tried one last throw of the dice. We offered everything they could have wanted, bar our own extermination. And how did those innocent Palestinians react? With rejection, with a fat, stinking no. And worse, they started a campaign of terrorist murder as a thank you gift. Arafat, you really were the criminal of the century. But did the lovely world take our side? Did they castigate the innocent Palestinians for launching a reign of terror? Did they place the blame firmly with the Arabs for starting the war and murdering us on the streets? What do you think? The West placed all the blame on Jewish shoulders. The Palestinians were innocent for violent rejectionism. They were innocent for murder on the buses. They were innocent for murder in the wedding halls. They were innocent for murdering peace. Just offer them a state, the West counseled. We just did, you fucking morons, and this was their response. And here we are in 2024. We've had 2 decades now of the Palestinian Authority denying Jewish history and telling unfounded lie after unfounded lie in international institutions. The Jews are Europeans, they deceive. The Palestinians are Canaanites and Philistines, they continue. We suffered 50 Holocausts, excretes that serial liar Mahmoud Abbas. Well, who knows? Perhaps the Palestinians are Philistines. They act totally uncivilized. Perhaps they are Canaanites. They murder babies to their God. But the West wasn't finished yet. What was their response to October 7th? Their response to murder, rape, beheadings. Their response to babies in ovens, torn off breasts, and music lovers massacred. Their response to the hostages living in hell, to place the blame fully on Israel as per fucking usual, to remove any hint of agency, responsibility, or adulthood from a Palestinian nation that's cried wolf once too often. After 2 days of solidarity with the Jewish state, the liberal West, which cancels freedom and allows its enemy to preach from university lecterns, which wouldn't melt a snowflake and would rather destroy Christianity than stop weekly hate marches. Played as usual two-faced games, the media and academia, and even the police have been allowed to transform into Hamas-supporting groupies. The Jews built up these academic institutions. We gave our knowledge and expertise. We are the backbone of the Western liberal intellectual class, just as we were in Germany before the war. And this is how you repay us. Again, you've lost your backbone. Harvard, go fuck yourself. Israel must stop the fighting. Israel is committing war crimes. Israel is murdering babies. Israel is committing genocide. Blood libel and slander, lie after fucking lie. The United Nations, that was formed in the aftermath of the Holocaust, the ICJ, that was formed likewise, the ICC, that was emerged in its memory, the international human rights law forged in the fires of Nuremberg and through the trial of Eichmann, all these tools developed by Jews and their supporters to make the world a better place are now being used against us. Mercilessly, Sudan, Xinjiang, Burma, Eritrea, Syria, who cares? All international human rights experts are interested in is continuing the genocide of the Jewish people. Oh, just offer them a state, cancels Jew expelling Spain. That will satisfy them, agrees bastion of liberal values, except in Palestine, Norway. Freedom for Palestine, adds terrorist producing Ireland. Is this an Irish joke? Thought they were outlawed along with murdering Jews. The Jewish people cannot trust anyone. Not the law, not the academia, not the United Nations of evil, and not the human rights elite. And as for America, it is possibly the most unreliable ally one could hope for. If the Americans had dealt with the Arab revolt of the 30s instead of the British, they would probably have given up after 2 weeks because of protests in Michigan. The broadcast media will listen to any made-up death figures from Hamas. They will unquestioningly agree with how Hamas describes any incident. Israel targeted a hospital. Israel carpet bombed civilians. They're entitled to their luxury, self-mendacity. They don't have to die with the consequences. And how they cower behind half-line retractions when the facts finally come to light. They spread Hamas lies, and we are the ones that suffer. And governments, don't make me laugh, they pander to Muslim voters and invite Gazan asylum seekers to Birmingham just to give them more people to pander to in the future. What they don't do is get the hate marches off the streets or make the streets of London safe for a Jew with a kippah. We now have 5 years of Keir Starmer telling Muslim voters that he's trying to stop a non-existent genocide and doing all in his power to create a Palestinian terror state just kilometers from Tel Aviv. I repeat, the Palestinians have been offered state after state after state after state. Is there something about being on the progressive left which doesn't make people understand the blindingly obvious? And when there's a ceasefire and Hamas continues to fire rockets into Tel Aviv, what are you going to do? Tell Israel to reply proportionately while children have no security in their homes at night? Do you care about the Israelis displaced from the north and the south? Don't you know how tiny Israel is and that there's nowhere to evacuate to? Zionism promised us safety in Israel, but there isn't even safety there. The only world that will be safe for Jews is one where you stop hating us and stop funding those who hate us. The only world that will be safe for Jews is one where you seek justice and true human rights. A world without the evil of Libya and Russia and Eritrea and Syria. And do you have anything to say about how the Palestinians rained havoc in Jordan and destroyed Lebanon? Do you want that on the doorstep of Israel? Do you want that, Jess Phillips MP, in Birmingham Yardley? And as for Israel's government, the people of Israel probably don't want it. The Jews of Britain definitely don't want it. We all want peace and seek peace and have yearned for peace. We all want Israel to be recognized as a beloved member of the free world with a top-class justice system to boot. But when the world constantly stands in opposition to Israel and lets the Palestinians get away with century-long murder, when every peace effort is thrown in our faces and we are the ones to take the blame, when every Israeli prime minister is criticized, be they left or right, then this is the kind of government you are going to get. When Jews have no hope for safety in this world, but for the coming of the Messiah, then you will get a government with despotic messianics. So, free worlders, what are you going to do? Are you finally going to force the Palestinians to wear the consequences of their actions? Or are you going to continue your appeasement to genocidaires? The West supports evil, and it will get evil when the Middle East comes to Europe. You have been warned, and you once again don't give a fuck.